We are many. Those that live beyond the veil of darkness where nightmares are born. Sanity knows no bounds, and men's thrives on the suffering of the damned. Rods in the solace in the souls of the weak. We have taken refuge here among the mortals in hope of harvest from of innocence. Tread lightly in the search for the voices and stories of the departed. For in shadow hides the evil that lurks within. As the light dies and slowly becomes night, the realm of spirits rule the world. In the darkness of your mind hides your own hidden demons, and brings to life your deepest fear. Do you have what it takes to speak to the dead? Do you accept your own mortality in the search for life after life? Have you ever seen a ghost, spirit, or demon? Have the lights flickered? Have the moon became as cold as death itself? Maybe you have. Maybe it was your own subconscious preparing you for death. Come spend some of what's left of your own existence in our search for the answers that are hidden behind the veil. Shed off the blinders and open your mind's eye and listen to their stories. We are there. We are incarnate paranormal.
And what is up, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Hope you guys are loosening up the belts, getting ready to gain, 10 or 15 pounds tomorrow? I know, just damn sure that I will. Thanksgiving, favorite holiday. And, good news. Announcements coming tonight. The announcement's coming tonight, not right away. I am not going to do it at the beginning of the show. I'm going to make you guys suffer a little bit. And you know what? This is bothering me. Too much shade over the eyes. Granted, you guys got to deal with the glare on the forehead. But you know what? That's all right for now. You know what? I'm going to turn that down a bit. It is a little too bright. There we go. It's a little bit better, I think. Not really. Oh, shit. Let's put the hat back on. Because that glare is just not going to go away until I fix the light. That's smart, Brent. Just start off the show with a blooper reel. Start off with bloopers. It's all right. But, yeah. Got a 4-day weekend. Happy for that. We're going to start the evidence on the Northern Nevada Railroad Museum here in a few minutes. Next week, as I said, Wednesday, I have to go out to LA. So Tuesday and Wednesday, there might not be a show. It all depends on what time I get home from work, then have to get to bed to get up at 3 a.m. to be to work at 4 to make the 4-hour drive out to LA, and I got to do pickup in 3 different locations at 3 different sides of LA, which is going to suck. It's going to be a long day, and I might be getting a hotel room out there depending on what time I get done with the pickups and just drive back Thursday morning. We'll see what happens, because anybody who's been to LA knows the traffic is not fun. If you can get there before rush hour, which hopefully I will, yeah, I'll be able to drive back. If not, Brent's stuck in LA for a night, which I don't want to be. I hate LA with a passion. Not a lot of investigations coming up. Former colleague of mine sent me information for 2 residentials here in Vegas. I'm going to see if they're going to be worth taking the cases. I'm going to have to read the files here probably Friday, and then just hopefully contact the client, because they haven't contacted him since he's contacted them, which leads me to believe they might be a little bit flighty. They might be just looking for attention, which, I hate saying this because there's a lot of people out there who contact paranormal teams for attention. There's nothing paranormal going on. There's nothing psychological going on. They're just lonely. Which, don't get me wrong. We had an investigation where the guy was just lonely and ended up having activity in his home. The problem is he called 3 times a day until we went down there. Then when we got back, the next morning he started asking for the evidence. Gave us no time to start analyzing it or going over it. Literally, the next morning at like 8. Hey, so what'd you find? We've been home 4 hours. We've got 50 hours of audio to go over. Multiple recorders, cameras, whatever. Which, it's okay. People, they want that interaction, and I get that. It's okay. But if somebody comes into your home for an investigation, give them some time. Call and say, hey, just wanted to check, make sure you got home okay, and wonder when you're going to start on the evidence. That's a fair question, and respectable. Very, very respectable. But, hey, what'd you find? Nothing yet? We'll let you know. Then to go back down there and, it gets uncomfortable because you do want to do everything to help your client, because that's what it's about, giving them the peace of mind that they need. And hopefully, they get it. Beyond that, sometimes it's tough. As an investigator, it gets really tough. And you got to be able to separate that. And it's hard to separate it sometimes because you get that frustration factor. And separating that frustration, which is human nature, and try to give them that comfort and be like, we're going to help. Just bear with us. We've got caseloads. We're going to get your case, and we promise we will. It might take some time. Most people understand. But it gives you that thirst to get down there and find out what's really going on. Because the more they say, oh, I got this happening, I got this happening, I got this happening, back of your mind going, I hope this is for real, as an investigator, because you want to see that evidence. But on the other hand, you don't want to see it for the client. You cannot show that excitement. You got to keep that poker face, because if you show that to the client, they're going to get scared. And that's the last thing you want to do, is scare a client. And I've said that before, but you've got to live by it. You got to practice it, and you have to perfect it. Even during the interviews. If something happens during an interview, which most of us have, you got to sit there stone-faced and act like it's a normal occurrence. Be like, oh, wow, did you hear that? And the clients can be like, we hear this all the time. And by your reaction, they're going to get overzealous about it. And this is another reason for the big announcement tonight is I'm going to be able to help a lot more clients, residential investigations. And this is where my heart is. This is where I belong. Incarnate Paranormal is remaining. But with the rest, hopefully I'm going to be able to work hand in hand with it. Of course, I'll be able to. But there's a lot of responsibility coming with this announcement. And I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot more than I expected, but it's a challenge. And challenges are good. It keeps us on our feet. It keeps us going, keep the mind working. Because when that mind slows down, you start to grow old. You start to wear down. You got a challenge every day, especially in this field. You got to be able to study, research, investigate, and just talk to people. Talk to your clients. Talk to the foundation members. Talk to team members, whatever. And learn from each other. While there's no one, because there might be a big span between investigations. We're not talking days. Sometimes weeks, maybe a couple of months for residentials. Make use of your time. Go back over old evidence, which is what we're going to do on the show. We're going to go back over old Nevada State Prison evidence from earlier in the year after we analyze the new. Then we're going to go back over others because, as I've always said, I'm learning Adobe Audition more and more each time we go through evidence. So it's going to afford me, the ability to fine-tune EVPs we might have missed, which is good. We're almost done with Northern Nevada Railroad Museum. We're at 1 hour 34 minutes out of 3 hours 22 minutes. Then we've got, let me bring this up real quick if it will. Another recorder with 24 minutes. So we've got at least 2 more shows. I'm going to wait for a few people to get in before I make the announcement. I'd like to do it right now if we had a few more people in here. We're going to get to it. Might be about an hour, but we're going to get to it. Because I've already got it loaded up behind everything. So all I have to do is click on it and bring it up. You guys are gonna get a kick out of this. And like I said, if you guys have been paying attention in stream, you've probably figured out the first part. Second part, I got the message this morning. It's been posted. If you want to make the announcement tonight, go ahead and do it. Go ahead. It's like, oh yes, I don't have to wait till Friday. I don't have to wait till Thanksgiving when nobody's going to be watching. Because we all know tomorrow, there might be a show late. But Thanksgiving's time for family, time for friends. It's not time to sit behind your computer screen. I want you guys to turn off your computers tomorrow. Go say Happy Thanksgiving to an old friend. Go spend it with your family. One day's going to come when you're not going to have the chance to. I'd rather you guys do that and take that opportunity than sit back and watch me. This is a stream. You can watch it anytime. Spend tomorrow with your families, please. So, like I said, we left off a little over an hour and a half mark. Let's get started, and I'll break the announcement here in a little bit. Of course, investigators in the background. And for those coming in for the first time, like I said, Northern Nevada Railroad Museum. These recorders, I set 13 recorders around the 36 acres. Just at random, turned them on, made the announcement where the recorder was being set, and left it unattended. So there's long periods of silence between when investigators go into those buildings and investigate. And we've gotten a lot of residual off this recorder. And it seems like the spirits are trying to tell us a story. Which, you know what? Let's pause this. And we're going to go back over the EVPs that we got last Thursday and Friday. This is in the RIP building, which is where a lot of the defunct train cars are. And this is in car 55. That plays importance here at one of the EVPs. We have an EVP of You Don't Love Me, then my name being called, A hey, followed by an unknown. We couldn't make it out. Click, followed by an ouch, which sounded like a gun being dry fired. Help me. Hide the body. An unknown conversation between two spirits. It's too faint to be able to make it out. We amplified it, and it just got very distorted. Another unknown got nailed her, which to me, being train yard, 1905, 1906, 07, shot her, stabbed her, got her, killed her, whatever. So nailed her means they got rid of her. I want you to help me, which is the female voice. Another female, I'm left behind. Either we got another one, we couldn't make it out. We're going to play for the clients, either go home or can someone help me? We had three people hearing different things. So at that point, you write them all down and let the client try to hide her hair of it, because that's all you can do. Got hold me. Then the one that I said would start to make a little bit of sense. We got 55th gone. 55 is the number of the train car that's on the side of the train car. So does that mean the train left without them, or their body got thrown off the car and they're saying 55 is gone, which is kind of what I want to lean towards. Got Mama, He Loved Me. Another gunshot followed by a voice. Not going to be on my ride, which probably you're not going to be on this train. A female spirit saying he's watching, followed by a male spirit saying watch your shit. So which leads me to believe the female spirit is asking for help, and the male spirit is trying to dominate her and say, you better watch what you're saying. I probably, from like I said, he probably killed her, and he's saying, you better watch it or I'm going to do it again. Being in the afterlife, life after life, you don't know if spirits can do harm to other spirits. We know they can control them and keep them from communicating, but can energy do harm to energy? Which makes some sense, because you are in life as you are in death. Remember me, Mommy, be nice, and one of the other investigators asking anybody else here, with a response of no. And you kind of had to been here for those comments, because it revolves around one of the investigators that I'm no longer associating with, and the spirits don't like at multiple locations that we've been to. So my theory behind this one is he was asking the spirits to communicate, and the spirits don't want to, and it was a kind of a half-hearted no, just no. And it was just like, no. That sarcastic no that you say to somebody when you just don't want to deal with them. You don't want to tolerate them. You don't want them around. So it's like, no. Just go on. So that being said, let's go ahead and roll on with more audio. Okay. I'll tell you guys what this is. Let me amplify it again. It's a dog barking in the background. There's a house that's right off the edge of the train yard, and they had dogs, and they were barking throughout the investigation. You can't exactly go off property and ask somebody to lock up their dogs because you're doing a paranormal investigation. What's up, Sims? How you doing tonight? Don't worry, I haven't made the announcement yet. Sounds like somebody coming in the building or leaving. Crap day. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, cheer up, you're here now. We got the announcement coming here in probably within 30 minutes. I want to see who else can make it in before I drop it. Now, I said these being the Zoom H1N recorders, they are very sensitive. I always crank the sensitivity almost all the way up. So they're going to pick up voices from a couple 100 feet away. But yeah, no reason to be a crap day now. Just saying. Well, Sims, if they're telling your bosses lies and you can prove it, that's technically a form of sabotage, and you can turn around and get them fired like that. And that's karma. They're going to get it in the end. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pause this. Actually, you know what? We'll do the announcement in 7 minutes. So at the 30-minute mark in the show, if you can prove it though, it's gonna play to your benefit. 7 minutes we'll do the announcement. Said you've been threatening people. Oh my God. People have nothing better to do than cause workplace drama. I can't stand that. It's the same in the paranormal too, believe me. You got he said, she said on every team. Somebody wants somebody's position, somebody wants to run the show, somebody wants to do what you're doing, and they just do a lot of this. A lot of flapping of the gums. They're just jealous, and I'd ignore them. I don't know what that is. It's either metal or that's a deep voice. I honestly don't know. Let's enhance this and find out. Because that's a strange sound. I almost think it's metal of some kind flexing, like the door being shut too hard, or just kind of some kind of metal rubbing up against each other. No, that's a voice. Hello? And that's none of the investigators. Mind you, there's only 3 male investigators on this site. That's myself, that's Chris, and the other guy. You all know the other guy's voice, deep and raspy. Chris is a higher pitched, and me, you know my voice on investigations. So what I want to do here, let's pause this. Let's go into stereo. See if we can isolate the channel. Okay. And like I said, you guys know I do not like writing down just one word EVPs. I don't like it. Like residential is no. Unless it's something just extraordinary. But because the client is asking for as much evidence as we can find so they can open up paranormal tours of this place, I wouldn't write it down. But because it's for the client, I have to do it. So, we got to find out where we're at on train EVPs. We are on 26. So this would be 27. Okay. So this is 20. Come on, Brett. Not 72. 27. A little bit dyslexic. You'll have to excuse me. 27. Then we got RIP. Just a hello. Nothing exciting there. But you know what? People aren't here. They know I'm live. They can deal with it. Let's go ahead and bring it down. There's the announcement. Official today. I'm the Regional Director of the Western United States for the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research. It got posted to the website today. So, yes, you are, Sims, and I greatly appreciate it. This is one of the biggest honors in the paranormal field. To be affiliated in any way with the Warren name. It is something researchers dream of. And to be able to bring some of my personal knowledge to this foundation and some of my studies and be able to learn from the people in the organization is second to none. It is a blessing. It is an honor. And I've got to do my best. I've got to be on my game. And thank you, Sims. That means a lot. This is big. I honestly didn't think I'd see a day like this. I honestly think I'd just be studying and enhancing my knowledge and my questions and my quest for answers. And a good friend of mine who's, let me scroll up and I'll give her the Heather Lee Landon, Regional Director of Western and Northwestern USA. She's actually in Florida now. I worked with her when I was with Sin City Paranormal. When she left the team, she started doing her own thing with her own team, and then got on with Warren Legacy. And the first time I applied, my application got denied because of certain staffing and management changes and shift in what they were doing. And put the application through the second time, and it got approved like that. Oh, I'm gonna take a shot and honor this, and just gonna be a second. So, like I said, you can go to the Warren file here. Let's do it this. There we go. Warren file, copy, paste. There's a link to the website for you guys, warrenfiles.com. Go through, check it out. If you have any questions, please let me know. So, and there's Chris McKennell, grandson of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Amazing gentleman right there. And he's entrusted a lot in me, as well as the foundation, putting a lot of belief into me, and I'll be forever grateful to these people. They've become family almost overnight. And like I said, it is a true honor and privilege. And I hope one of them is watching. So, that's the announcement. Regional Director of the Western U.S. for the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research. Like I said, you guys, if I said, pay attention. The Warren Legacy logo has been behind me for about a month now. The Warren Legacy logo has been on the screen for a while. I'm sure you guys figured out something, but yeah. But, as I said, cheers, you guys. Salute. Good life, good health, and good friends. I'm sure I'll have to make the announcement a couple more times as people start filtering in. Because I know some of them missed it. I know Explicit will want to hear it. I know Deads will want to hear it. Solange. I'll do one more just because. But yeah, guys, words are literally escaping me for the gratitude and just honor that's been bestowed on me. It's so hard to be able to put into words, and that's what I was thinking. Sorry, that was bothering me. Yeah, it's weird. A chaser is another shot for a chaser. Go figure. I got some problems. And tonight's one of those nights. I hope we don't just get one EVP. It'd be nice to actually get a few to celebrate. We're out of ammo for now. Sorry, I gotta bring that up. Always gotta keep a tab open just in case. Now that you said that, Sims, I'm going to watch out for you, because you got me good the other night. You actually made me jump out of my skin on that one. Anybody else, save up your channel points, click that little bubble at the bottom, and you can play sound alerts. And I gotta get the Warren Files link onto my bio page too, so people can stop in and read. Oh, I'm sure you are proud. You're probably laughing your ass off too. It's okay. I need a good scare every now and then. There's not too much that actually scares me. So you'll see at NSP when I play the video. I was actually, I'm not gonna lie, it scared me pretty good when I got chased out of that cell block by a shadow. And I really hope the video caught it. Like I said here, this is we got to deal with the silence. I think this is somebody outside the building, not outside the train car. Because of the distance of it and how it's echoing, I think this is sound traveling through the, bouncing off the metal walls. So we're going to try to take the hiss out. We're going to bump up the vocals. Then we're going to amplify. Let's see. Okay, this is one of the investigators outside. This is not paranormal, so we can go ahead and throw the debunked up there. And for those just tuning in for the first time, I've always said know your team. Know their voices, know their breathing patterns, know their bodily functions. As disgusting as that sounds, know their burps, know their stomach gurgles, and know it when they break wind. That way you know it's not a demon. Sorry to throw that out there. Do you smell sulfur? Yeah, I had Taco Bell. And that is the train, sound of the steel wheels on the steel track. That's the whining of the train car stopping. It's good to learn those things though. Know your environment. Know what's around you. Too many people go in. Too many rookies go in. Too many seasoned investigators go in. Did you hear that? Yeah, it's this. Oh no, it's not. It's a spirit. Really? No, it's not. So I've even made the mistake. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's this. And one of my viewers is like, no, it's this. I live right down the street from this. It's like, oh, okay. My bad. Yeah, those Sims, we did return to silence, but gotta remember, we had how many 20 EVPs? Those spirits used a lot of energy to do that, to tell us that story. So silence is going to be expected unless they can recharge somehow. Sounds like a gunshot, don't it? Actually, it sounds like the echo of a gunshot. But because of the wind that's outside, I think it's that sheet metal slapping against something real hard. And you've got a metal building around it, so it's just going to echo. You can get that freaking slapping metal sound. Sims, double-edged sword. Something like I said, you get equipment drains, battery drain. You get equipment drains all the time. I've even said in locations where there's no power, feel free to use my energy to communicate. Just leave me enough to get home. Just leave me enough to get out of here. And a lot of times those spirits will oblige. They'll zap you pretty good if you're not paying attention. If you don't know how to ground yourself, if you don't know how to control it, they'll take it all, and you'll be going to sleep soon. I mean, I've gone to locations to where I was so tired when I left, I fell asleep in the car on the way back to the hotel, or on the way back to Vegas. I just got in the back seat, put my head down, and I was snoring in 5 minutes. So people need to take caution when they tell spirits to use their energy. It can be dangerous, but if you know how to control it, if you know what to watch for, you know the signs of your body and what's going on around you, I don't think it's entirely taboo. I just wouldn't suggest it. I would not suggest it to people who don't know what they're doing. And that's quite a few people, actually. I still don't fully know how to do it. I do it because there's a lot of spirits where I've gone to locations and those spirits are attached to me like stepping in gum. I know that they see something they can trust and that's comfortable to them. So they get that latch onto you. It's like your demeanor just changes. It's like, yeah, they're here. They're communicating. Now we gotta listen. Funny enough, after that I just wouldn't sleep. I went an entire week without sleeping that year. I don't even tell them they can. That's why you gotta ground yourself before you go in. St. Michael's Prayer, whatever you believe in, pre-sage before you go in. Put that shield around you. Some Palo Santo, some sage, even holy water, whatever you believe in. Whatever you feel best protects you as an investigator. You put faith in that and it will work. Guys like me, I don't like grounding. I don't like protection before I go in. I go in because the clients need help. I'd rather me get rolled than the client. I know that's dangerous to say, but I'd rather take the brunt of it over the client. That way they can get that peace of mind. I can recover from it. No saying that they will. Because you've seen the haunted dolls. I've offered to send them back to the client if they ever want them. I'm told, don't even think about it. I don't want them. It's like, okay, they're yours. You had them since you were a little girl. If you ever want them back, they're safe with me. It's like, no, I don't want them back. I gave them to you to get them away from me. I know how to control their energy. They're sitting actually just off to my left. You know, that's the case where I told you where, you know, the daughter had a Ouija. She was using it by herself and tried to up the river instead of across the street. And I've got the Ouija sitting over here too on my right side. It's put away. It's got a rosary around it. So, and it's wrapped up. It will not come back out. And the spirits have gone silent. Sims, I see manifestations all the time. I've got the haunted clown. I've got the two dolls. I've got the geisha over here that I've shown you guys. I've got the Ouija. I've got the tarot. I've got a few things here. Also, my house is haunted. No other way to put it. The old man who owned this house before I did, who passed away here, I see him here every now and then. I was literally downstairs about a month ago. I was in the kitchen, and I was going out through the dining room into the living room, and I looked to my left, and I literally saw somebody come down the last two stairs, turn around and walk down the other hallway towards the living room. And I stopped dead in my tracks for a good 2 or 3 minutes, just doing this. That you're waiting to hear the footsteps. You're waiting to hear a voice. You're waiting to hear that confirmation that you just saw something. And it wasn't just, a shadow out of the corner of your eye. It wasn't, your imagination. It wasn't, out of your peripheral is one of your most natural senses of vision than here. I tell people, if you see something out of the corner of your eye, it's either an eyelash, a shadow, or it's something. And there might be something there. That's when you want to pay attention to the energy, the temperature in the room. Go over where you see it or you thought you did. Is it colder? Is it warmer? Do you feel that static electricity in the air? Do you feel that tingling, almost that numbness like your hand's asleep? Any change in the environment, pay attention to it. Write it down. Write down the time. Write down the date. Keep detailed notes of what it was, what you were doing, and just everything down the line. And if it happens again, match it up to those notes. Might be a couple weeks, might be a couple months, might be a year. But you'll have a record of it. I gave up doing that because it got so active in my house for a while. It was like, they're here. How you doing? Just don't hurt anything. Don't damage anything. Just say hi from time to time. Uh, don't investigate your own house. That's a golden rule that I have. I don't investigate. I acknowledge them. I don't. You rarely. If the only time you see me put this on the show is when I think I see something or I think I hear something, and you've seen me do it twice. The more you make contact with the spirits in your own home, the more you feel them. And if it's not a timid spirit, things can happen. So be very careful with that. You know, I've had people that I've had on my teams. I investigated my own home last night. You did what? What did we tell you when you started? Don't even have your own team do it. Because even your own team will spend time in your home. You have to get a non-biased source in. Because no matter what, that person's going to tell their team that they've seen this in their home. They've seen activity. So you've got that subconscious poisoning already. To where if you go to their home, you're going to think you saw something because they've told you about it. And that goes back to the theory I'm forming is the more you know about a location, can you subconsciously manifest evidence to confirm everything you've been told? It's a possibility. Because the human mind is extremely powerful. So I think the human mind can manifest its own evidence as it sees fit. That's why I always go into a location blind. Even I don't like going into residentials knowing too much. I know that's a double-edged sword, especially with the foundation. You have to know as much as possible to be able to help the client. But I like tidbits. Yeah, exactly, Sims. I agree. Okay, let's go to some vocal enhancing. Let's see. Nope, not paranormal. It's the wind. No, it's the wind coming through the cracks in that sheet metal. It's like whenever you take that piece of grass or a piece of paper, and let me see if I can do it here. You get that almost that. It's that wind across that thin metal. It's about the easiest way to explain it is grab a piece of paper and blow across it. Just and it's amazing what environmental will do. Environmental sounds will make you think you're here singing. That wind could be coming through a small old pinhole from an old tack nail. And it's hitting it just right and it gets at that echo because you're in a great big open metal building and it just resonates through there. And you're going to get that whistle echo effect the further away you get. And it's just going to make you think you're hearing things. And it's happened to me many times where you go back time and time and you're like, wait a minute, it was kind of windy that night. The wind was coming from the west, and this was on the west face of the building. But this night it was windy, and the recorder was in the train car on the North side of the building, I think. Being a cat. Yeah, I've had that happen too. Then you just feel like, Jesus, what's wrong with me? I got fooled by a cat. I got psyched out by a cat. And again, then you listen to it enough, you start thinking the engine from a car going by is a voice saying something, when in all actuality, pareidolia. It's just flat out pareidolia. And part of that's a dog. I think some of that might be that dog barking, and it's just echoing through the warehouse. Good training video though. Debunking nature in a 120-year-old building. The older the building, the stranger the noises, the creepier the noises. Also, I think some of this is because the dinner train is getting ready to go out. What we're hearing might be some of the voices over the PA. You know, passengers, please have your tickets ready for the dinner train leaving in 20 minutes. So I'm thinking a couple of these voices might be the announcement for the dinner train, and it's just too far away to be able to confirm what it's saying. That's why we're hearing the echoing coming through the building. You might be hearing bells in a 150-year-old house. That might have been used as a church, and they stored bodies in the basement. You never know. I mean, some of those old houses, they had some strange histories to them. There's a dog. Let's go ahead and debunk that. Shut up, Fido. Let's see. This house, the house I live in, is 50 years old. Well, remember, a lot of houses, remember, 150 years old, why they used to call it the living room. They used to have viewings for the deceased. So, any of those old houses had living rooms, and they had viewings for the deceased family members. that energy remains. A lot of people don't know that. That's where living room got its name. Yeah, go look up the history of the living room. You'll get a kick out of it, Sims. Very strong possibility. Like I said, pay attention for cold spots. Check the vents because a lot of those old houses, they don't have the vents on the ceiling or on the wall. They have floor vents. The old grate floor vents. So a lot of draft will come up through that. If there's no vent around, you hit a cold spot, pay attention. Might be a spirit trying to say hi. I didn't hit that earlier. Oops. We are on to frickin' silence. A lot of silence. Anybody have any questions? Anybody watching besides Sims? Any questions on the paranormal that I can touch base on or try to? More than happy to answer any questions that I can. It's an open floor plan. Well, I'd like to know what the history of the house is. That's for sure. Sorry guys, I'm starting to yawn. I've been up since 3 a.m. Brent is tired. I'm going to try to stick it out as close to 2 hours as I can tonight. I don't have to work tomorrow, but I'm not going to force myself to stay awake. Welcome to White Noise 101. That was recorded. That's a key word, recorded. Going back 150 years, I guarantee you, all the records are not there. Get anything over 100 anymore. Finding complete records, not easy. I know, depending on what area you live in, they only have to report natural deaths. And realtors only have to tell you if you ask them. A lot of places, they don't have to disclose it unless you ask. I think we've gone through this before. A lot of Asian cultures, you can't have a front door and a back door perfectly in line with each other, or you can't see the front door from the back door, vice versa. And nobody can Nobody can die in the house. Bad luck. Same with the doors facing each other. Honestly, I'm worried when I see a shadow. I assume it's a rat. They ain't no 6-foot rats. They ain't no 6-foot rats. It's a spirit. But yeah, it's mirrors facing each other. That creates a portal. But here's one, and I guarantee everybody has done this. Take your medicine cabinet in your bathroom, take the door, and put it towards your mirror, and see how far back you can see. Everybody has done this. See how close you can get the mirror to the mirror and still see into it, and it looks like doors going all the way back. You're just opening up a portal that way. That and just I got mirrors facing each other in my house. I got 8-foot closet doors. So they're mirrored. There's no way not to get a reflection out of that. And what I say earlier, trust your peripheral. It's your truest sense of vision. It's unfiltered. I saw a shadow. Yeah, you did. Yeah, just you're stuck there till March. Just don't stir up too much activity. Just remember, it'll either follow you to your new place, or whoever owns the place will have a lot of problems from there on out. That's why I say don't acknowledge it. I know wherever I go, I'm taking spirits with me. It's not just my guardian angels. It's any spirit that I've investigated. I tell people, no matter what you do, every investigation you go on, and I've said this on numerous shows, you carry a piece of it with you. Every investigation you've ever gone on, you have a piece of that energy with you forever. It's not going to leave you. You've left a piece of yourself there, that imprint energy, and you've taken a piece with you. It's that give and take motto. But all depends what you do with it. You can turn into a positive for yourself and make it good, or you let it bother you, or it'll drive you crazy. One of the two. Very good question, Sims. If you don't acknowledge it, but it really wants to be known, would it just be more aggravated? Not necessarily. Like I said, spirits can read your energy. Spirits know that they see your light. They see your core energy. If it's something they can trust, and you don't acknowledge it, if it's just like any human being. They were once alive. It's just like I always say, you are in life as you are in death. If you don't acknowledge it, it might just say, okay, this person doesn't want to be bothered. You know, they don't want to speak to me. They're in their own little world. They're happy there, and they'll move on. And they'll find somebody who can acknowledge it or will acknowledge it. But you can always get that spirit that's like, boop, 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 boop. Just keep poking the bear. Hey, I'm here. You know, I watched this piece of paper fall off the desk. Okay, that didn't work. So I stomped my feet. Oh, I heard footsteps. It's my imagination. Okay, I saw somebody walking down the hall. I just saw something, car turned coming down my street. The headlights came through the drapes and cast a shadow on the wall. The spirit's like, okay, this didn't work. Now you see a door shut. Okay, that must be circulation in the house. I opened the bathroom door and the bedroom door shut. That's like right as the heat or the AC is kicking on, so you get that air pressure. Boom, boom, door shuts. I can explain that too. How far can a spirit take it to get your attention? But like I said, you are in life as you are in death. Eventually, they're going to lose interest. Just ignore it. And if it doesn't, you're going to be calling the paranormal team to get you some answers. Because at that point, you almost have to acknowledge there's something just off in your house, in your home. And at that point, you want answers. I'm not going crazy. And I've always said this, I go by the motto, we know you're not crazy. We live our lives by crazy in this field. We've heard it all, we've seen it all, we've investigated it all. We've heard every made-up story possible and every legitimate story possible. Granted, everybody exaggerates just a little bit because they want to get a team in there as quick as possible because they think it's going to end their freaking life. Or it's something that they're just terrified. They don't know how to explain it. When in all actuality, it's easily explainable. It's damn easy to explain. But they don't want to hear it because they've convinced themselves so much that there's something so bad or something so aggravating in their house that it's gotten to that point. Which, yes, it does happen. It will happen from time to time. Some people just have that natural tendency to attract spirits. And like I said, you have a bad day at work, like you did. So customer pisses you off to no end, and you just let it bother you. Then you get that negativity about you. You've got that negative energy surrounding your bad day at work because it has affected you. Your drive home, you get out of the car. There happens to be a negative spirit in the area, and oh, look, more negative energy to feed off of. Boom, you just stepped in gum. You're taking that negative energy into your house. As I've told everybody, and I tell clients this, if you have a bad day at work, sit out in your car for 5 or 10 minutes. Get out of your car, walk around for a couple minutes, take a deep breath, get that positive energy back in your mind. I'm going in, I'm seeing family, I'm seeing friends. Life is beautiful. I made it home from work. I made it through my day. I get to walk back in my front door at night. Get that positive vibe back before you walk through your front door. Otherwise, you risk bringing that negative energy into your home with you. And then it can get really interesting. If that spirit sets up shop and pretends to be something nice until you acknowledge it, then all of a sudden it shifts into things you don't like. You've let that spirit set up shop. You have let it basically claim residence in your home. Then what happens? You're calling the paranormal team to figure out what the hell just happened. So, yeah, don't walk back in your door after a day, after a night, with negative energy attached to you. You go out to the bar. You got a guy hitting on you. You're not interested because you got a husband. And it's bothering you. When you go home, leave it at the front door. Same with going to work. Leave everything at the door. Life's not that bad. Bad things happen. Weird things happen to us that throw us off our game. But if you walk into work, same thing goes. You got that negativity attached to you walking into work. Somebody else could be having a bad day, and whatever you have attached to you now latches onto them. Now they take it home. Best bet, don't acknowledge it and don't walk back into your home with negative energy. And you'll stop a lot of the activity right there. And worst comes to worst, sage. But make sure you sage right. Otherwise, you're going to have the spirits bouncing around like pinballs. Then you're really going to tick them off. And sorry about that drawn out answer there, Sims. Some questions like that, they need a detailed answer. And sometimes I just draw it out too far. Oops. That's what this show's for anyway. If it takes me an hour to answer a question, it takes an hour to answer the question. I'm okay with this. That's entirely possible, Sims. Why have nightmares about your parents' house being haunted? So much negative energy in the house over the years after you moved out. That's when the nightmares started. Yes. You probably took a lot of it out with you. And nightmare, you got a lot of stress. You got a lot of stress right now you're dealing with too. Everything that's happened over the past year. Meditate. It'll help you out a lot. Find an outlet. Find a vice. Keep this clear. Just keep your mind clear. It not only will you feel better, you'll see the change in like even your face over almost overnight. There is a, well, let's see, what is it? It's understandable. And there's a book for you to check out if you're interested in like the power of dreams and all that. Psychic Dreaming is a amazing book. It's a little tough to read. It reaches sometimes. I don't say it reaches. It's very technical in certain aspects, and it's a very detailed read. So if you ain't got your head screwed on straight, you're gonna lose interest fast. And that was the very first book I bought when I started the paranormal. Get back. Yeah, like my entire library. Oh, I don't. You don't have Facebook. I'll have to post my entire library to Discord for you. That's loud for a freaking just being alone in the train car. Almost sounds like one of those old time card clocks, but there's nothing in there. What the This one bothers me. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like one of those old pull chain light bulbs. Exactly. Exactly, Sims. We're saving this one. I know it's a residual EVP. I know this is a residual sound. But this is strange. This is a strange one. So I'm going to just let it play. And it's weird sounds like this that you have to save. I don't know. What was the lights that I saw on the trains were the old like kerosene the indoor kerosene lamps, and they were up above. I didn't see any electric lights. Because remember, these train cars go all the way back to 1906, and some of them as early as the 40s. Now in the 40s, I don't know if they had pull string lights. This train car was from earlier. So I gotta see where we're at here. Bear with me a sec. This would be 28. 28 RIP. Pole light. I don't know. But this one it's different. This is the first time we've heard this sound in 2 hours and 17 minutes on this recorder. And all the other recorders did not have a sound like this. Because you hear the double pull on it. It's like switch on. Sounds like somebody moving around in there. That sounds like somebody shuffling across a cloth seat. It sounds like somebody scooting over for somebody else to sit down. Huh. There's a footstep. Now we're getting into weird. That almost sounds like a rat scratching on something. That's what this sounds like, is there's a rat trying to dig into the wood. Somebody scratching their nail on a piece of wood. So again, what I do, like I said, what I do on these is I save it for the client. I'm going to play it for them and say, this was out of the ordinary for us. And these, like I said, these people work at this train yard every day. So they'd be able to identify the sound easier than I can. Like, we're not calling this paranormal, but we picked this up on the recorder. Can you explain it to us? And the reason you do that, don't be ashamed to ask your clients for help. Don't be ashamed to ask them questions. Hey, I got this. Can you explain it to me? It's probably something they hear all the time. So this is 29 UNK. So let me go back here. I screwed that up. 29 RIP. Okay. I'm expecting this booming voice to come out now. It's like, and that's what I was saying. A lot of people are scared that they're going to scare their client if they ask them a question. Doing your preliminary. If you got to always have a recorder going, for one. If you pick something up, when you contact them back, be like, hey, listen, this was picked up on the recorder. Can you explain it to us? And play it for them. 9 times out of 10, hey, yeah, that's just the AC unit kicking on across the property. It's on the other side of the house, and it just echoes through the vents and comes out. This is what the sound is. It's not paranormal. Don't worry about it. Now you know. Don't be afraid to work with your client, not against him. Whoa, hold on. Getting some creepy freaking sounds here, guys. This is weird. It legitimately sounds like there's somebody in this train car. There's not. Because they'd be asking questions and investigating. There's something intelligent in this train car right now. Is it a rat? Maybe. It's entirely possible. Could it be one of the two cats that resides in the train yard? Could be that too. Could very well be. But just the patterns of sound lead me to believe it is something else. Now, the more you know about the sounds of the human body, you can be a good investigator. I think we got the train actually coming in now. That's what all this pink is on the bottom. And that should be investigating. So let's see. Always know your energy patterns. After 12 different recorders, you think we'd figure that one out, right? Yeah, gotta know the living room. This should be me and Chris coming in to investigate now. And I think we're trying to investigate the whole building. So I don't think we spent too much time in this car. Oh, you gotta know the living to know the dead. Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, study human interaction. Just watch people. Like one of the funnest things to do in Vegas is go down to the strip and people watch. Watch how people carry themselves. Watch their demeanor. Watch just general. Just that general. What's that word I'm looking for? Oh my God, I hate when I draw a blank. Just the general habits of the living. Their tics, their little the minuscule actions that they do with their body. Pay attention to them. It says so much about people. And the more you read, the more you know. Like I said, the more confused you're going to get in the paranormal, because you can easily identify it. Be like, okay, what was this person's story? Why'd they do this? And that gives you more questions to ask on investigations. The more you pick up, the quicker you pick it up, the quicker you feed into your next questions. And you've noticed that with a few of my questions on these investigations. I feed into stuff that makes no sense. I mean, and absolutely no sense. But it's gotten us replies.
That one.
I don't remember which one I put the.
You put probably one in here.
I think I put it in here.
Want me to check?
But we're gonna find out.
Want to go on this one check first?
If you want.
Alright, I'll check.
No, I put it in here. I think. Yeah, it's in here.
Bad when you forget
Yeah, it's
where you
in
put all
here.
your equipment because you put so much around.
See, original chairs. Somebody picked a lock. Pigeons have been in here, owls. There's my explicit recorder. And this is where some of the workers actually stayed.
Coming up. Are you running this one, right?
And sometimes you just carry on like you're carrying on with normal everyday life.
Okay. Come right here. Sit on the bed. Look through here.
Tickets? Tickets?
In the train car where somebody employees used to sleep. One of the rooms.
Conductor, I need your tickets.
Rest. Walking up and down the car. Is anybody in here with me right now?
What we're going to do is we're going to amplify from here to here. Right after I ask for saying conductor, tickets, see if we can get a response out of this. So I said we go up 9. 9 should do it fairly well.
Rest. Walking up and down the car. Is anybody in here with me right now?
Right here. Original electrical, the bus fuses. Really cool.
I don't have a ticket.
Don't have a ticket, we're gonna throw you off with the train moving. Don't have a ticket, we're gonna throw you off with the train moving.
Hold on. There you go. There's a good EVP right there. I knew we were going to find one once I got into the car. Oh. And you heard me say, if you don't have a ticket, we're going to throw you off with the train moving. There's a response to it right there. So let's go in, do some vocal enhancing, and that should bring it up fairly well. And let's bump this up, I don't know, 15. Then we're going to reverb it to get the static out. Okay. Get them out.
Don't have a ticket, we're gonna throw you off with the train moving. Don't have a ticket, we're gonna throw you off with the train moving. Don't have a a ticket. We're going to throw you off with the train moving. Don't have a ticket. We're going to throw you off with the train moving. Don't have a ticket. We're going to throw you off with the train moving. Don't have a ticket. We're going to throw you off with the train moving. Well, probably talking about Chris. You remember Chris said he didn't have a ticket. So let's go back a little bit further.
I don't have a ticket.
Don't have a ticket. We're going to throw you off with the train moving.
I don't have a ticket.
Don't have a ticket. We're going to throw you off with the train moving. Oh, he's not challenging me. He's challenging Chris. Chris is like, I don't have a ticket. Me? And I fed exactly off of Chris. Chris played this perfectly. I don't have a ticket. You don't have a ticket. We're throwing your ass off with the train moving. Spirit's like, yeah, get him out. So it's like, yeah, he goes, you're the conductor. Get him off this train. It's just like watching Ghost. Get off my train. Yeah, that's your train. You're the spirit. This is your domain. I'll do what you ask me to do. I'll get him off your train. Might be a while, but I'll get him off. Because the train's still it's sitting still in the warehouse. It's not going to move. So technically, I don't have to get him off until the car moves. Spirit doesn't know that. And the time he's seeing, that train car might be moving. And I don't have a ticket either. I just lied to him and said I was a conductor. So I didn't exactly get the Spirit's trust if I'm lying to him. This is a great EVP. Save selection as. This is 31. RIP. Get off my train. That is an awesome EVP. This is kind of, I was going to call it about 20 minutes ago because I'm so tired. I'm glad I stuck this out to get this EVP. This is a good way to keep going with the show.
I don't have a ticket.
Don't have a ticket. We're going to throw you off with the train moving. That is cool, Sims. And they still got the original toilets in the train, too. It's kind of cool. You freaking open up the lid and you can see it straight down to the tracks. Kind of disgusting, but kind of cool nonetheless.
Oh, there's a handle right here, but I think it's stuck.
Yeah. So it's the same right here. So yeah, that's a toilet, all right.
Private toilet at least.
Dumping right down into the tracks. Taking a dump for the entire world to smell. And listen to me. I'm just telling the truth. God forbid they had Taco Bell back then. Taking a long train ride. Yeah, you're putting it out on the tracks. And just be fortunate if the wind ain't blowing toward the city. Just saying.
Everybody in here wants to speak to us.
Myself or Chris? Anybody?
Open one of these doors and these cabinets and these drawers. up any of these doors. Okay, you're not gonna spook us, and we're not here to spook you either. We're here to speak to you, to kind of hear your story. We want it to be full.
We love coming to these old locations to hear stories. Now would definitely be your time because we will not be back for a long while.
Is that you?
What do you mean? Yeah, bumping
Maybe
into
not.
something? That was me.
They're not. Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Seeing Chris did it right. I bumped into something and it sounded like knocking on the wood. He's like, was that you? Yeah. He immediately debunked it. Chris was taught right.
See, we're only 13 minutes in, so we've got a while to go.
Okay.
Definite creep factor in here. I would have loved to see this train in its prime.
Yeah,
How do you feel seeing it now compared to when it was on the tracks?
You got pigeons and all else. The other one has a, look at this old light bulb.
Oh.
You know,
Why does it sound like a cat purring? Legitimately, this is the fourth time we've caught this sound in the past 3 minutes. It sounds like a cat purring right next to the microphone. Now, is there a ghost cat on this train? We know there's 2 live ones in the train yard, but they're skittish around people, so they're not in the one of the cats is not in this car. Otherwise, we would have seen him.
you know, I haven't seen one of these in a long time. The other
Yeah.
one's got an old.
Again,
The other one's got an old creep factor to it. That one right there. As soon as you walk in, you get a eerie feeling.
Let's go over and see. Nevada Northern number 5.
This is from the 1800s. No, the other one, the pink one, 1800s.
that was me knocking. You've never experienced the spirit of animals. I have. It's different. I've gone out to pet cemeteries before, and it's an experience. It's definitely something to say you've done. $26.21. With that being said, I am actually going to call it for the night. We're approaching that 2-hour mark, right where I wanted to be. I didn't think I was going to make it through tonight. Started getting those last EVPs that kind of just reinvigorated me. Wanted me to just push me a little bit more to keep going. It's like, you can do this, Brett. You can do this. You got this. Tonight was a special night. I thank you guys for being here for it. Sims, you especially. I know you had a bad day, and I'm glad it cheered you up. Thank you for being such a big part of the show tonight. Asking questions, getting involved with the EVPs like always. It's always a pleasure to have you in here. Everybody else, I noticed the counter going up and down. If you didn't say hi, that's fine. Please hit the like button. Come back. Enjoy the show. Try to be every Monday through Friday. Between 6 and 7 p.m. to between 8 and 9 p.m. depending on work. But I try to at least make it to where, yes, there is a show, even if it's hour to an hour and a half. Make the attempt to be here for you guys, analyze some EVPs, and just BS like we did tonight. And Sims, have a great night and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well. To each and every one of you out there, have a very happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your day with your family tomorrow. there probably will not be a show tomorrow night simply because what I said earlier. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Spend it with your family. Spend it with your friends. I'm asking you. If I do a show, I don't want to see that counter go up. I want it to stay at 0. And you can watch it later on YouTube. Spend tomorrow with your family, guys, please. Good night. God bless. I'll see you guys Friday. And you guys take care. Take care of each other. And I'm glad you enjoyed the announcement tonight. Y'all take care.